hate and jealousy. Yeah. Now this is time. We need education, more than bullets and bombs. Now this is time. We need to care for the young and old, more than silver and gold. Now this is time. We have to wake up and change the world. As the results of 2,000 years of hypocrisy, ego-driven leaders in pursuit of property, power and wealth and fame, oppressing and murdering, killing all in God's name. Iniquity spread across the nation. Humanity is into separation. In the midst of a darkest hour, we rise to reclaim our power. In this time, we love and unity, more than hate and jealousy. In this time, we need education, more than bullets and bombs. We say we gotta give up, not give up, not give up. Oh no, we not give it, not give it, not give up. Their mission using dirty politicians, brainwash education, war on religion, racial division, food with no nutrition. Hey, this is the Babylon system. Their intention to use all their wicked invention, all the propaganda promoting consumerism, and silent distraction, only misdirection to break high collection. But if you want come from me, make you know say what I want. This is how I get you ready for the Armageddon. I'm in for the revolution. Power by love and compassion. Cause if we go at them with weapons, then they have more guns. Go at them with money, then they have more funds. With unification, then time soon done. We owe to our daughters and sons in a decent time. Love and unity, more than hate and jealousy. Yeah. Now this is time. We need education, more than bullets and bombs. Now this is time. We need to care for the young and old, more than silver and gold. Now this is time. We have to wake up and change the world. Now this is time. We need love and unity, more than hate and jealousy. Yeah. Now this is time. We need education, more than bullets and bombs. In this time, we need to care for the young and old, more than silver and gold. In this time, we have to wake up and change the world.
Astray and lied to. I don't think there's anyone that hates it more than I do. Trapped inside the system and I'm caught up in the struggle. One day I hope to see the light at the end of the tunnel. I feel like I'm alone and no one knows the things I know. There's nobody to talk to and there's nowhere I can go. Trapped inside the system and I'm caught up in the struggle. One day I hope to see the light at the end of the tunnel.
We the sheeple, hear no, see no, and speak no evil. We get lied to so much, it seems normal to be deceitful. We'll never be treated equal, and I wanna know why. Rich people start all the wars, but only poor people die. Just take a look, it's so easy to see the system is rigged by degenerate pigs targeting our innocent kids. They start programming you just as soon as you exit the womb. Now money is your god,
you must obey and consume.
Always practice conformity, stay within the majority. Never think for yourself and do not question authority. Man, I still can't even believe this is the way that they have us. I'm taking my chances, I have to try and wake up the masses. Can't get away from the madness, but still I'm trying my best. And as long as I'm still alive, I will fight till the death. Because we cannot let this be the end. It's now or never, sink or swim. The time has come for the great awakening.
Never sleep again.
Every single day we're being led astray and lied to. I don't think there's anyone that hates it more than I do. Trapped inside the system and Listen, I woke up with a fever today. Sick of the fact people believe everything that this evil media say. Morality has been deleted away. Zionist heathens display that they're the predators who see us as prey. Transparency is what they need to purvey. They even have us thinking that eating a fruit that has no seed is okay. Victims of greed and impeded by hate. The glaring question is, how can we get to God if Satan's leading the way? Ravenous witches, scientists with moral character glitches, preparing malicious conditions and sick narrative switches. The elite is wearing his privilege as he battles for riches, while the lower classes carry out the establishment's wishes. The portrayal of their intentions is unfair and fictitious, acting suspicious. Undercover agents snapping your pictures, suggestive messages embedded in the movies to trick us. Music and advertisement slickness plus remixture of scriptures. Come on.
Every single day we're being led astray and lied to. I don't think there's anyone that hates it more than I do. Trapped inside the system and I'm caught up in the struggle. One day I hope to see the light at the end of the tunnel. I feel like I'm alone and no one knows the things I know. There's nobody to talk to and there's nowhere I can go. Trapped inside the system and I'm caught up in the struggle. One day I hope to see the light at the end of the tunnel.
It's 2019, but it feels more like 1984. Our rights are fading away. Every day they're taking more. It's time to stand and take action. What are we waiting for? They're waging war on humanity. This we can't ignore. My brain is sore from all the lies that they constantly feed us. Elitists that follow the phoenix can swallow a penis. And we're not gonna stop until we know all of your secrets. The Bible says in our final days our knowledge increases. That is exactly what's happening now on this challenging road that we're traveling down. We have to get rowdy, we have to get loud and keep spreading the truth and just pass it around. You work like a slave and you live in a loop. They're turning your sky into chemical soup. I'm always watching these videos, often like Richie from Boston, to give me the scoop. Waking the world up, dispensing the truth like a doctor that's handing out red pills to everyone. What in the world are they spraying up there in the air? It's aluminum, lithium, barium. Nobody notices, nobody cares. Everyone's greedy and nobody shares. I wanna help you, you'll be in my prayers. But now we must separate wheat from the tares.
Every single day we're being led astray and lied to. I don't think there's anyone that hates it more than I do. Trapped inside the system and I'm caught up in the struggle. One day I hope to see the light at the end of the tunnel. I feel like I'm alone and no one knows the things I know. There's nobody to talk to and there's nowhere I can go. Trapped inside the system and I'm caught up in the struggle. One day I hope to see the light at the end of the tunnel.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to the show. I see that there's a few people here who are extremely happy they're catching us live. So that's awesome. Welcome to the live stream. Hey, Shapu, what's going on with you?
Not so much. Been really a slow day today. Been not doing much today. And you?
Yeah, you said you're having some shitty weather up there. I know here when we have bad weather and overcast a lot, and I know we talk about the weather in the beginning of every show, but it's important to how you feel during the course of your day. And, it really sucks when you feel shitty when it's nice and sunny outside. You feel like you're missing something. But when you have a lot of overcast days that are in a row, 4, 5, 6 days in a row, it really puts like a mood on you. You just can't wait to get away from the funk of it all. At least that's how I feel.
Exactly. I think
Yeah.
it's the same for everyone.
What's up? We got, let's see here. We got about 17 people here so far. RT's in the house, 405er, Soul Survivor, Boston Ray's in the house, Undocked Ryaneated. Melanie's here on time. Yes, Melanie, good girl. She's going to be looking out for the late ones. We have a lot of fun stuff we're going to go over tonight, guys. Some interesting pictures and Quantum Meltology, Patricia Goslin is very happy to be here live. These pictures we're going to look at are very interesting. It's another part of the narrative that we haven't considered, and my eyes were just open to this fact. But it makes sense, and I can see how it fits into what they're trying to pull off with his story and his historical narrative attached to these specific archaeological sites. And we're going to get into all that in just a minute. I just want to say hi to some other people. We've got La Young in the house. I don't recognize that. D-Man, that's a new name. Like Patricia, you're a new name for me. So if y'all are new subscribers, thank you and welcome so much. I'm glad to have you here. I don't expect everybody to agree with everything that we're saying. It's okay to disagree, and it's great for you to think it out and maybe take it a step further, or maybe point out that you're seeing things in a different light, that that light may shed more light on the narrative that we're trying to piece together. See, we're in the process now of dismantling his story. Okay, it's like walking into a crime scene and then trying to reconstruct what happened in this crime scene. You got to pull out all the lies and the bullshit, and somewhere under all that is the truth. And they're not going to tell us none of this stuff, guys. The only thing they're going to do is pile on more lies and deception and misdirection and all this other kind of stuff. And they're very crafty at what they do and how they do it. And like, they're teaching these narratives to our children. They're 20 some years ago now, actually 21 years ago in September, in a specific city on the East Coast of America, something happened. And it's nothing like what they told us it happened. And it's being taught right now in textbooks to children around the world as the way they want that narrative to be taught. And we know the truth of that matter. So, if they're going to lie and teach our kids lies now in the current state of our world, the past is the same thing. They're going to lie about all that. And they're going to teach them the historical narrative that they want our children, and we, just like we were taught in school. And this carries on through. It's our indoctrination. That's why when we look at something, we see it a certain way and it's skewed. If you just recently came onto the flat earth, or within the last 4 or 5 years, like for me, I was 45. I'm 52 now. I was 45 when I woke up to the flat earth. So that means for a good 8 years, I was flying in airplanes back and forth to Philly, thinking I'm on a ball, sitting in the window seat and never seeing what was right in front of my eyes, because I was indoctrinated and carried with me through my whole life. And it was reinforced every time I saw a movie with the globe and the universal going around it and it's spinning in space. Every time, you go anywhere, it's always space-based or space-related. You go to Disney World, there's Space Mountain there and everything. So all these things reinforce that narrative into your mindset and indoctrination, and it carries through your life. This is why we see these narratives being continued, and the money's being put into these projects and stuff, because it's all to deceive us. So we have a deception of the reality that we're living in and the world that is around us. So the pictures that we're going to get into feed into those narratives to a certain extent. And like I said, when you're reconstructing a crime scene, we have to back engineer this whole thing pretty much. We have to dismantle his story because it's all lies. Then we have to look at the evidence that we have in front of us, try to break down and decipher that evidence, get to these areas if we can and explore them themselves, boots on the ground stuff. And then try to reconstruct what may have actually happened and how long ago this shit happened. It's not an easy task. And I think we all have a piece to this puzzle in one, form or fashion. And I'm very compelled to bring these truths out. I'm very honored to be a part of a community that is open-minded and can see the lies before them. Once you start to realize that they lied about what you're living on and what's above you and what's below you, well, it only stands to reason that they've lied to you about everything that surrounds you. Okay. And the sooner you swallow that fact and wrap your head around it, the easier it will be to transition into a lot of these new truths that are coming out during this apocalypse, because this has all been kept from us. And it's really important for us to better understand what happens in the past so we don't repeat it. What brought us to the point where, these types of things happen? Is it a natural event? Is it partly man-made and partly natural? Is it a cyclical event that takes place that they can be ready for at any time and we'll have no clue it's even coming? Are there safe zones? Are there places where they could go and take certain things with them to safe zones where they know that when this X factor happens in its cyclical nature, that it only really affects, certain areas really bad, but there's areas that survive really well and they know where they're at. And I feel like they had to know, if the landscape's going to change dramatically during an X factor event, you would want the maps to your current situation. This way, when you come back out into the world after it's all settled down, you're going to want to look at these maps and see where everything was and what you can still recognize. You're going to know what buildings are where and in what location and what functionality they had and what type of tech was in them, and gold. Okay, so this is how they know where the gold mines are and all this stuff like that. This is how they own all these gold mines. Like I said before, Seville Cathedral in Spain has 44 tons of gold in it. If that particular cathode melted down on the grid system, you would have a huge vein of gold and a mine right there. I guarantee you they would have known that was a cathode and it melted down and how much gold was in it. And they'd be mining the fuck out of that. It'd be like mine. I found it. It's mine.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry. I'm really passionate about this today. It's just been kind of like, eating at me to get out here. Because a lot of people want to say we're making stuff up. We don't know what we're talking about. We're hypothesizing too much and everything. But again, like I said, like a crime scene, we are trying to reconstruct what actually happened. The person who's telling us what happened, his story, that person is lying to us. Okay, there's many, many evidences that they're lying to us about the timeline. Why would they lie about any of this? Clearly, there's something very, very, very important that we are not supposed to know about. And I think it has exactly to do with these cyclical pole shifts that take place. How this all fits into the millennial reign and the 1,000-year timeline and the short season of Satan, I'm not exactly sure yet. Okay, I'm just saying there's two aspects to this thing. There's the whole thing with the millennial reign and the short season of Satan, which I do think very much that we are in the short season of Satan. How the timeline works out for cyclical nature X factor events, I'm not sure. Okay, and I'm willing to admit that, but there's evidence for it everywhere. Okay, and we're going to look at some of that evidence tonight. Shapu has a bunch of comparison pictures with dates. And we're going to break all this down and see what we come up with. You ready to do some screen sharing, Shapu?
Yeah, sure. I like how you titled the show tonight, because all day I was thinking about how can people still fall for these lies they push every day, and people still fall for them and go with them and propagate them. And
well, that's the thing, is that you got people out there who know a lot of truths, but they still, to a certain extent, hold on to the historical narrative. They have not fully grasped the fact that the whole thing is a lie. Well, what about Picasso and Rembrandt and what is it? Christopher Columbus. What about these people? They're characters. They're characters that his story put together to teach us what their version of what happened was. Yeah. Columbus didn't come over on his ships and discover America. Okay, there's many times in stories and proofs that that's not the case, but people still buy that narrative. We still celebrate Columbus Day. I mean, people do.
I know. How can you think that? Because they say that there was no people, but there was actually people, and people living in buildings over there. But they say no, it's ours. It's our new world. It's us.
They want you to come. They want you to think the Pilgrims came over, they settled, they made friends with the Indians. It was all wilderness here. When we hear other historical narratives, alternative timeline narratives for history that say that the Indians were here and they knew all these buildings were here. Guys, all they did was come over and clean up and repopulate. And the Indians, well, they got rid of them.
Yeah.
And we just
Because-
took over again, it seems like.
You know why? Because they were the native there and they knew what happened, you know? They were the survivors of the event.
And that's a really key point, too, because why is there so little Indians left? And why is it that, they only have each tribe has their own little story. You know what I mean? And that's taught down from generation to generation. But if they get rid of one or two generations, and we know that they did try to re-educate these people, they could give them a whole new narrative, and then it's all verbal and word of mouth, and more than anything, tradition and stuff like this, and ceremony for them. And there was one Indian, I don't know his name or whatever, but John Levy had said one of his subscribers had wrote in and said that the Indians don't talk about a certain part of the past. Very few know about it, and the ones that do know about it don't talk about it. That they know that there was these buildings here, and they were guarding these buildings or something like that. It was a long time ago, maybe like a year and a half ago. I heard this on John Levy's show. I can't even remember which one it was. It was very intriguing, though, and it's so intriguing that I remembered it and filed it away in my head here. Because you have to ask yourself, what were the Indians doing here? How is it that we see these old maps and there's cities everywhere, all over these places where there shouldn't be any cities?
Yeah, no, they were exactly people, and I have like old etchings, but if they old or no, but when the conquistador came to South America, you see like the Aztecs, they're all in the building, and the conquistador are outside. So
yeah,
who owns these buildings? You know, they say they just live in temples or huts. I don't know.
Now, if you think about this, like say if this historical narrative is true, this conquistador thing and them and stuff, right? Because I don't know, I really don't know what to believe at this point. How would they get so primitive and be dancing around and having rituals in these massive buildings that clearly they didn't build, right? Because they look like savages.
Yeah.
If there was a generation gap after the X Factor event, you would have that. You would have a generation who does not know the past, has no record of education or any type of language. And then they become primitive again. They become rudimentary to a certain extent. They don't have the skills or the language or the education that the prior generations have, because you skipped maybe a generation and a half, maybe 2 generations. I'm sorry, go ahead, Chapeau.
No, I was just thinking about, I just said before the show, like you have to do the complete reset. You have to erase the minds of all the people so they don't do the same thing again and again. So maybe this...
Yeah.
I don't know this.
Because if you look at Africa, if you look at what they've done now, if we don't even know for sure if Africans are from Africa the way we were taught, okay? There could be a whole nother situation going on with that, right? Okay. Who came where and over on what ships and stuff. That's all historical narrative that is based on lies. Okay. So we have to keep that in mind when we're looking at this situation. Could these particular peoples be being suppressed on purpose so they don't ever gain a foothold of being that at that higher intelligence, you might say, or higher society than another society who's trying to get a foothold in and be the ones who are in charge?
You want to know, you just look at who's been suppressed the most in the world, and you can see that they suppress the dark-skinned people and these are the people that they just try to keep down. They don't want them to grow and become what they were before, you know?
I agree with that. I agree with that to a certain extent. Yes, I do. I think they renamed and moved everything around. And I think the arcs were probably a part of that. The historical narrative on the arcs is that they were prison hulks or prison ships and stuff like that. Again, that's a historical narrative that they have to put on these things. They're out there and they're everywhere, and they're in the collective minds of people, and they can't get rid of them. So they have to repurpose them and rename them and stuff like that. I think that's what's going on. Do I have 100% proof of it? I don't. But I know his historical narrative is not true. So what the fuck are the purpose of these ships? They look just like Noah's Ark.
And the size of them and the workmanship that it needs to be done, it's just
exactly. And if every culture has a flood story, How many cultures are there? That means that that's how many arcs there are. Okay, because each flood story would have an arc and a different set of people and animals maybe getting on it and stuff like that. Okay. So, you know, again, I have to reiterate that the historical narratives, because a lot of people like to go behind us and create, oh, that's not what that is. It's this. Okay, that's the historical narrative. If you want to buy that, go ahead. It's on sale on aisle 8. Have it. But I'm not buying the lie. And, you know, if you guys don't agree, that's fine. Change the channel. It's no big deal. Like I said, we're trying to find the evidence where we can piece this thing together and try to figure out what happened. Who knew about it? Somebody knew. Okay, clearly they had safe zones where they kept things like airships. Somebody got out after the reset and took some really good mappage. Okay, you have to have extremely high elevation to get the mapping going on that was taking place, even in you know, the 1700s and before that and after that. Before we got go ahead.
Yeah, they say they have these bird eye view maps from the 15 and 1400s. Yeah. So
yeah,
just crazy. Yeah.
So if you could piggyback a reset, if you knew it was coming and you knew where the safe zones were, you would put people, clothes, animals, you would put airships, you would put all kinds of shit in that location. So when the shit's over, you can come out and see what's going on and start getting all your free fucking masonry. That's what I think's happening. Just like we have the seed vault now in a location, you know, whether that's just for distraction or whatever, it's an example. I really don't buy the whole seed vault thing to the extent that they showed. There's probably a whole lot more going on into that melted building than just this little vault thing with some seeds and stuff.
Well, yeah, but they're not just seed vault, they're vaults for everything. I don't know if you ever saw, I saw like, it was the show, Ozzy Osbourne show, you know, the family.
Oh yeah, I remember that,
and
yeah.
Go down into a bunker, a deep bunker, and they got there, like the first recording of Black Sabbath's album there, you know? So they keep stuff, they keep some stuff somewhere, yeah.
As quickly as they got out and figured shit out after the reset, to me, they had to have airships. And that, I mean, that would be the smart thing to do if you knew where the safe zones were, to put stuff so it doesn't get all muffed up during the X Factor. And I think that's what happened. Maybe the safe zone was outside of the landmass that they call an ice wall that goes around us. It could have been, you know, like that. And then they came back in. Maybe they took off to the Iron Republic. I don't know. But something was going on. And we were talking before the show, because we are going to get into these pictures. And when we get to this picture, we're going to go over it. We're going to analyze it. Everybody will recognize it. We're going to go over it again. But what Shibu and I were saying, because we're talking about the 17 and 1800s and how people were dressed and how moving into the 1800s, the cars they were driving and stuff like that. This would be all post-reset technology coming out. Okay, so if there was a reset that took place and they were living and dressing the way we see them in late 17 and 1800s, you know, with these flamboyant dresses and hats and stuff and the top hats and coats and everything, if that was their style prior to the X Factor event, is it possible that that's why their style is the way it is, so opulent after the X Factor events? Even though everything's all muffed up and mud flooded and melted, this is what they have to work with. These types of, so when I see this one picture that we're going to look at that a lot of people say is not a picture, it's a drawing, which I don't even know what to think on that. To me, it looks like it's actual, some type of a photograph, lithograph type of thing. I'm not sure, but it looks so real. The shadowing of the sunlight coming in through the buildings and stuff like that.
Yeah, the detail on it, it's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. So when we get to that, we're gonna talk more about maybe what they had after they reset as far as clothes, because we always talk about how they're all dressed the same. They all have the same bolo hats or the ball, whatever those little hats are that they wear, the bowl hats or something. And the women all seem to have the same kind of style. And then this also falls into fashion and trendiness that takes us down the road and stuff, because they blame it all on fashion and stuff like that. Like, well, that was just the fashion of the time. But was it just a fashion at the time, or was that what was left over after the reset and that's all they had to wear and stuff like this? It doesn't make sense how they would walk around in the mud and all this stuff with all these fancy dresses and clothes on. It doesn't make sense. Even in the Wild West, you see them walking around with these fanciful dresses on. Everything's dirty from the knees down. You know, none of it makes sense.
Yeah, you know, a synonym for fashion is just molding. They just mold the history. The fashion is kind of an historical of, you know, they fashioned it, you know.
Fashion, all that stuff, it's just like patriotism. It gives you a new narrative perspective to follow along with. See, the fashion is just like following the linear line of his story. Well, we have the 60s. So we had this, and this going on. Plus we had this fashion and this type of music. You know what I mean? It's all building a narrative as you go along. And they've wanted it this way ever since, because each step along the way, they control each narrative that comes up on their little timeline.
Exactly. And all these narratives are just put out by a small group of people, you know, so.
Like I was saying, the space lie keeps going on. I mean, every time you turn on a movie, you'll see the Earth spinning with a universal going around it, and it's spinning in space and all this stuff like that. They're always driving home these narratives. This is why they bring back fashion. Oh, that's coming back. The 60s, the mini skirts, the bell bottoms, whatever. This is so you relive these historical things, and it gets even more anchored into your psyche of, you know, this is how we only got to right here because we went through this, and this, and this. You see what I'm saying? And that will reinforce the narrative that they have for the false history prior to the X Factor event, because that'll explain even more that you came from here, and then this war and this war, and then we had this, and now we're in the 1900s, and then you see how I'm saying? This is how they build their narratives through time, and they teach it to our kids, and they taught it to us. They're going to continue to teach this stuff.
And now they just go after the kids younger and younger, you know, so it's just
what just happened over these last 2 years will be taught to the future generations. You know it's a fucking bullshit lie. I know it's a bullshit narrative lie, but it will be taught that these last 2-3 years, what happened, and the historical narrative, how the world came together and all this stuff like that. Give me a fucking break.
Yeah.
So
I have a good example for this. Just like now the summer's coming and everybody's gonna go out, and they will perpetuate the big lie that the sun will destroy their skin, and they will all put some sunscreen to go out, and it's in their minds, you know. And
we started on sunscreen.
Yeah, they just put sunscreen on everyone, and they try to, oh, you want some sunscreen? No, I don't need it, because I don't think that the sun will burn me, you know. If I stay too long in the sun, probably. But most of the time, I've seen that they put sunscreen, they got sunburn either way, and I don't. I have
to tell you, I've never used sunblock. Never use sunblock ever. I'm Italian. I get nice and dark in the summertime. I hydrate my skin and I take care of myself internally and externally, because I do lay out in the sun. And I know that the sun can dry your skin out and stuff. So if you're going to go that route, you need to know what you're doing and how to take care of your body. But one thing you shouldn't do is put on suntan lotion. And you definitely shouldn't slather it all over your kids neither. My kids never had it on. They're also tan. You know, they tan really well ever since they were children. My son Ryan used to get burnt right along here. And I remember one time I did put a little right here on him, but that was like one time. After that, he always wore hats or baseball hats and stuff. But other than that, my kids have never used sunblock. I've never used it. I'm fine. I have no skin cancer. I think that the people that wind up with skin cancer, and I can't prove this, guys, I don't know for sure, but I think they're the ones who've used sunblock.
It's all in the mind again. It's a mind thing, you know. They think that they
can manifest it. Yes.
Yeah, they manifested themselves.
Yeah.
But what I was going to go into this is because the children don't know what they're doing. They see their parents just putting on this stuff, and they will still continue doing it all their life because their parents did it to them, you know.
And the same thing goes with deodorant, okay? Because I could get into a whole new subject here, and I could probably, you know, wind up having this thing taken down. But, you know, this cancer right here comes from what you're putting under here, okay? So when your body is excreting and detoxing out the impurities in your system, it comes out through your sweat glands right here.
But if,
You
yeah,
don't want to stuff them up. You don't want to have antiperspirant. Now, a deodorizer is one thing, but if you're eating healthy, you shouldn't smell that bad. But okay, people eat
Exactly.
onions and garlic and all this stuff. I get it. I'm Italian. Okay. I'm like, oh my God. But if you use an antiperspirant, that's
No,
a
no,
whole nother story what your body's got to deal with. So where's all this going to go if it ain't got this to come out? It's going to go here. And that's no bueno.
no, exactly. And since I not stop, but drink less like alcohol and less eat less meat, I don't like smell anymore. You know, it's not me that smells; it's what I ate.
It's what you consume. Exactly. Yeah. And they have us consuming the most craziest stuff in these food products and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so let's get into a screen share and get started on this because we're gonna have a lot of fun trying to figure out what's going on with these pictures. Like I said, this is new for me, guys. I didn't consider that this was a possibility that was taking place. Now I've got to go back and rethink a lot of the sites that I've already looked at. Yeah. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with being able to revise my theories and look at it from another perspective that I hadn't considered yet. Okay, because a lot of people say that I'm stuck on one theory, I'm narcissistic, I don't know what I'm talking about, and I'm making shit up. I'm trying to tell you that's not the case. Just try to follow along with me here. Figure this out with me. Let's think it out together.
Yeah, since I find all these things there, I changed my perspective on things again because
because we open-minded. You have to be open-minded.
Now I can see that the new stuff and the old stuff that they just put on, you know, you see the difference because they try to imitate it, but they can't totally do the same thing because we know that it's the brick that changed into the rock, not a new rock that they just put, but they tried to put the same.
Go back to the last picture. Let's go back one.
I don't know which one.
Oh, I thought you were looking at, so that bunch of pictures that you sent me in the text message, I was going to go over those ones with you. Here, hold on a second, Shapu. I'm going to resend them to you in Facebook because these are the ones I want to cover.
I think I've got all of them like in order here.
Okay, but yeah, there's other things in the message that we're going to go over as far as pictures, the Facebook pictures. Oh, I'm having a hot flash.
But while you do it, you can see that this castle in Poland, was prior than 1990. You know that it's just rubble, but this is what they did with it today. You know, just to make you think that this is how it was 500 in the year 500. You know, but.
So, do you think that they're covering something up? Like the meltage and the damage by rebuilding it? No,
they're just covering the story of the X Factor, Jan.
Yeah.
Because we know that this part here, the white part, the rock, it was the castle, you know? So this is the true story. Now they just put you, this is how it was before, but you know here in the Meltology that this is not how it was because even it's on the hill. The old, all the hill was the castle, you know. So.
Yep. Yeah. Absolutely.
This is the
Can we zoom in on the top one at all?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Let's do that. Okay. So this is what was originally here, and look down below.
Maybe this was added in, I don't know when, you know, but yes, this is what they tell us. This is what was there before 1990. In 95 they started, and this is what they do. But you can still see like the old melted bricks, but they tried. Oh, go ahead.
No, because I was thinking sometimes I'm saying like, why would it look melted here but not over here? And here, this is a remade part of this building that I didn't take into consideration before because I didn't see any pictures of this reactor stuff. It's blowing my mind right now.
This one is good because you can see that it's not that changed, but you can see like this. This was, I don't know the date, but this was what it looked like before they refurbished it. Look, you can still see here
Yeah.
the scaffolding that they just in the top, and look how nice and shiny, and it looks brand
Yeah, I
new.
see it over there.
But you can see that here all the mortar is all falling off, and look at the siding here, it's all muffed up, it's all broken and stuff. But
It's all mounted.
they have made it for the people to come and see, and
Tourism and stuff.
tourism,
Yeah. Like that little town in Russia that what was it called? The I think the Russian Machu Picchu, where they cleaned up that one section and rebuilt some of it. And they also did that with Machu Picchu too. When you look at the original pictures of Machu Picchu, it was disaster.
I've got one. Yeah, I've got one, I think, right here. But you see, they don't say that. Oh no, they just say this is how it was like in that time, you know. You see, like this Machu Picchu in 1915.
Wow.
It's what it is. It's nothing. It's just rubble. And look, now they just have unhurt it.
And didn't some of them have the roofs back on them? Like they made the roofs like what they must have looked like or something, I think, in one section.
Yeah, this is in 2012. I think today they have some that have roofs on them. Yeah.
Right.
But they did this everywhere. Like this, you showed me that this picture of another place in her. The temple. This is another temple that just look alike, but there was no wall prior. Wow. You know.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and this, they say that in this, I don't know which one,
Tiwanaku or Teotihuacan?
Yeah, Teotihuacan, yeah.
Okay.
But you can see that this how they found it. You know, probably all muffed up, all broken, but they just repaired it and never told that they did it. They just say this is how it was.
Wow.
But this is how it was because you remade it, you know? And not a lot of people know about it, and even this one.
So this is Teotihuacan. Or, yeah, isn't that what this is? Sun and the Moon Pyramid?
Yeah.
Okay, 1805. Wow,
yeah,
look at this.
1805. And again, 1805, all destroyed.
And then they put it back together.
Yeah, this is today. And this is what they have put it back here, you know. They just made it. Like they thought how it was, but it's just the narrative, because it probably wasn't at all like this. We don't even know. But this is what they gave us. Oh, this is how it was. But how do you know? You know?
Yeah. And I think that some people say that there may have been water in this causeway here or something at one time, which I don't know. Definitely from the air, it looks like a circuit board for sure.
Yeah. But I've got the, like in India, they just
remove the vegetation.
Yeah, remove the vegetation. Maybe look here they have reconstructed maybe a wall or another one. Like this one. Look how deep it was, you know.
Oh yeah. Look, they uncovered the steps and everything.
Yeah.
Wow. Now this is interesting. So you're saying they built the tower behind it?
Yeah.
They built that?
Yeah. Because it's not there on the old one, you know.
Interesting.
Yeah, and I've got another one that like this.
Yeah, this is interesting.
You know, this is how it was, but they just recovered it with new bricks.
Wow.
It's just crazy.
Interesting.
Yeah.
They really rebuilt that a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. Just for tourism, because and their narrative. That's the only reason I could think of.
That's what they did with Vesuvius. It was all about tourism.
Yeah, and this one, I think, look at the tower in the middle. But when they rebuilt it, they didn't rebuild the tech.
They kind of took the tech away.
Yeah, they took the tech away. Because I think the other one, you can even see that it was even before, all destroyed.
Wow.
Look. This is in 1872, that the date. There's nothing.
Do you think the whiteout behind it could be something to hide that, like from one picture to another? I don't know.
No, maybe not. Because if you look at the sky here, if I took a picture in black and white, it would be the same thing as the top one here.
Yeah.
You can see.
Well, they did the same thing with the Sphinx too, guys. Remember when they found the Sphinx and then they rebuilt the pauls and stuff?
But some pictures, they have white out the sky, but not on this one. But there's some of the, not that old, these old pictures of 1800, I don't think they had to white out the sky, but the war pictures of the 40s and 30s and even the 20s, they did a lot of this clear, the sky, whiting of the sky, maybe to hide the airships and the thing that were floating.
Right. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
See,
like that.
This one in 1901, they didn't even have the top. So at which point did they put the top in and they removed it again?
Interesting.
Like this one.
It's so confusing, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
It's interesting and confusing at the same time, trying to figure this out.
This must be in the 1900s too, but you can
There's clearly tech up
see the tech, yeah. This is today, no tech. But here in 72, it's all destroyed. And in 1901, it's still destroyed. It's just... we don't know. They just tampered with the history. And this one is really interesting.
Wow.
Because this is the date, they say it's 1901. But we know that the X Factory was before because this whole thing was the building. But this is today. So
what?
Who destroyed all this, you know?
Right.
We know that the wars and the fake wars and was to destroy the remainings of things, but look at this. It's just
that's crazy.
1901 and today is just destroyed. So how do we know exactly when things happen? But
what happened? I'm sorry, I hate to interrupt you, Shapoosam. You're saying something happened to Sarah, Ceiling Fan's kitten? I don't know. Somebody said something up here. We said, Melanie, I hope Sarah is okay.
No.
Dangerous life for a kitten around Ceiling Fan Man. I hope everything's okay. She didn't get tread on or something, did she? Oh, look at this.
This is, I think, a Tikal, Pyramid of Tikal in Brazil. And I don't know if it's this one or this one or this one, but they're clear. Yeah. They just removed this one, probably not repaired much. But this, you know, they redo castles.
Well, they give it a new date and say when it was built, you know?
Yeah,
like,
exactly. Yeah. And they say this was the castle, but what about this? All this rock there? That's probably have bricks in it. I can't see it, but they don't talk about this. They want to divert your attention to the castle.
Go back to the amphitheater.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so we'll zoom in here because on the landscape part here on the left, you can't really even tell that something was there.
Yeah, you can only see that this part here.
Yeah.
It's this part, you know.
Wow.
But you don't even see
there, guys. This is your mud flood stuff here. Okay, this is like some stuff that rolled in during the X Factor event, covered this shit all up.
Yeah, covered, but it's a mountain, so the mud came from where?
Yeah, the building. This is
Exactly. There was something on
I
top here.
understand that when we talk about it, but some people don't. And I should reiterate that. Yes.
That's why I just say, because there's nothing else that
Right.
can come down on top of it, except if there was something on top.
This is very true.
Yeah. Just like this one. Just
Yeah. Now this, I couldn't believe they rebuilt it this much. I was like, what? How do they even know it was like that? You know?
Yeah, they didn't not know. They just built what they thought it was.
Yeah.
And even covered with grass on top to make you believe that this is old.
Wow.
I don't know why they do, but I know why.
Well, we were talking. Yeah, we said that, you know, the inheritors of this stuff, there was probably two options: rebuild it and put a narrative to it, fit it into your narrative, or destroy it. And it looks like some places they've rebuilt and put their narratives to it.
Because destroying it, it's even worse. It's a bigger job than just trying to rebuild it. That's why they just, in cities, they just cover up the street. They do not remove the old world bricks road underneath, or brick buildings. They just cover it.
They just cover right over it. Yeah.
So that's how they found it.
That's why when they pull away from a building, the roads and stuff, you see the building goes down many, many levels.
Yeah, exactly. And you can see,
you know, a lot of us wonder, well, why didn't they dig it all out? Why didn't they keep going? Because that doesn't fit the narrative.
Yeah.
You just slap a pavement over it, and put a street there and some signs up, and there's your street level. But everything below it is not existent.
Exactly. This is probably why they stopped there, because they could go on and on and on digging and finding stuff. So they had to stop somewhere. So we stop here. But you can see that they have rebuilt all this here. Because you can see that this spot is this door.
Oh, yeah.
But, you know, but the people came and just pushed back these blocks on top of each other. And maybe this is, you know, these metal rods that hold these blocks. They say that the old world put it, but maybe they put it when they rebuild these stuff, you know, just to
hold this one here is very interesting with the comparison below it, because they took a lot out here.
Yeah, and you can see that the dirt was up to there, but you can see that this is the line here.
Mm-hmm.
Like below that.
Wow.
But you can see that it goes deeper and deeper. I have other pictures of this place, not in this folder, but it's a big complex and it goes down and down.
So I want you to, if you can click on the message that I resent you, because there's a couple of things in there that we haven't shown yet. And I also wanted to tackle this picture as well.
If you tell me, I cannot zoom in.
Oh, no, I know. I understand.
So I'm in the folder.
Okay, that one there. Look at this. Now, see, I had no idea that this was rebuilt like this, but it does have that newer look to it when you compare it to some of the stuff around it. Yeah, that's a really good.
Yeah, the Tartaria rock. It's called the Lion Rock, but you can see that it's a turtle feet. I don't know why they call it the Lion Rock.
It does look like a turtle claw thing there. And when you look at the top of this thing, it does look like a turtle head sticking out.
Yeah. It's all the Lion Rock. I don't know why.
It's a new narrative. Don't laugh.
Just like the temple of the snake, you know, from the Aztec. If you look at the snake head, it's got a mane and it's got like a feline nose and feline teeth. So it's not a snake. You know?
Wow.
But look at all this, you know, all these.
Yeah, this is an amazing picture. This is like, wow.
Oh, no, I can't zoom in. Sorry. I tried to zoom in. Like this one.
Yeah, so we saw that one,
Yeah,
and we saw that one. Yeah,
this one.
yeah.
And this one. Not long ago.
Yes, the very first one. And so the next picture I wanted to go to was the retro futuristic one with the caption underneath of it. Let me see.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay. This way, if you can find it, we can zoom in on the caption and everybody can see where it comes from, what this picture was, because there was a post about it on Facebook. I had put it up in Melted Buildings, and a lot of people were commenting on it. This picture triggers a lot of people. All right, so let's scroll down to the bottom, and we'll look at what that says first. I'll read it on my end because I have it here. It says, the city of the future will be one enormous, complex structure. Now, guys, I've said many times, and in the documentary, When the Buildings Cried, that these were massive, interconnected buildings. Massive interconnected buildings. The first line here says, the city of the future will be one enormous complex structure. And if you scroll up slowly, you can see that it is one enormous, very complex structure. I mean, look at the shadowing of the sunlight coming in through the buildings.
Yep.
They want to say that this is a depiction and some type of a drawing done for this magazine. I'm going to continue reading. It says, combining beauty and stability. Its height will be vastly greater than that of the loftiest American skyscraper. In its basement will run the underground trains connecting the businesses and offices and warehouses. It says, in the upper stories will be the residences of various grades, which I guess that would mean classes, while gardens and parks will occupy the roof of the city. The roofs of the city, where also will be situated the airplane stations. Okay, yeah, it's a little hard to see on my end. So they're planning on having airplane stations, gardens, and parks on the rooftops. And this is from volume, what is it? XXVIII 32. And it's from the magazine, Pearson's Magazine. Okay. I'm just going to tell you how I feel about this picture. And I could be completely wrong, but damn it, I really don't feel like I am. Okay. I feel like this is an actual picture, a sliver of the old world, a sliver of a picture of the old world and what it may have looked like prior to the X Factor event. It looks too real, too detailed, too complex, I feel. Now, like I said, I could be completely wrong, guys, but I just, in my gut, I don't feel like I am. Bill, what do you see and how do you feel about this depiction?
Well, what I see, it's a really detailed picture of drawing, you know. It's just seeing it, I say picture, you know, because it's so detailed and so much well done that not many artists can do this kind of stuff, you know. And even in the, what date? I think it was from the 1901 or 19.
The date on this, was it like 1905 or something like that?
Yeah.
It's supposed to be a futuristic look. But I find it interesting that after the X Factor, when people come back out, they're having this same attire on. Now, this guy, when he did this futuristic retro design,
There's
right?
nothing futuristic about it.
Well, exactly. The people and the cars and the trains don't look futuristic. So why would you not have some kind of futuristic concept as far as clothes, automobiles, trains? But no, we're seeing their modes of transportation at the time, even the Zeppelins and dirigibles.
Yeah, even planes.
Yes. So, it's very compelling. This picture has always really grabbed me, just like, wow, look at this. And here's a wider perspective. I like this picture because you can see more of down this thoroughway. You can see more bridges, more archways and stuff going back there. It just goes on and on and on. When we say the mountains were the buildings are the mountains. Look at this, guys. First off, you can't even see ground level. Okay. This is massive. Okay. And it's just a sliver of what the whole place could have looked like.
Yeah. Yeah, this picture is really
Now,
good.
the reason I wanted to point out that it's from that magazine and everything, because somebody had made a comment. I'm not going to bring up names or anything like that, but somebody made a comment on Facebook that this was from Metropolitan or something like that. The movie Metropolis, Metropolis. And I looked through all the Metropolis stuff. Shapu helped me track down this picture and where it originated at, which is in this Pearson magazine. It has nothing to do with the movie Metropolis. As a matter of fact, Metropolis being a retro-futuristic movie in itself, when it shows the cities of Metropolis, it shows a very futuristic look to it. It doesn't look like people are driving around in these old type cars and stuff. This looks like really like modern day kind of stuff.
This is like Metropolis here.
Yes, exactly. Now I can see how somebody can confuse that other picture with this type of stuff from Metropolis, which this was all miniatures they made for the movie. But again, it's a retro-futuristic look of the world, supposedly. I think it's a look at the world the way it was prior to the X Factor event, to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
I think that's what you're trying to show us in Metropolis.
Yeah, I think that's the only one I got.
Yeah. Again, here, go back to that one, if you could. I'm sorry.
Oh, it wasn't Metropolis, but
oh, that one. There's a good one too.
Yeah, the title of this one is, I've got the colored one.
Oh, I think, yeah, there you go.
It's the future New York.
Yes, zoom in on that one. Let's go in on this one because this one's detailed, intricate too.
And just try. I think I've got a better quality one.
Mm-hmm. No problem.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Just right there. Look, just right there. Scroll up a little bit more. Go back to where you were when you just, scroll up more. That's our city right there. Right there. Period. Yeah. Mud floods, whatever you want to call it. That's our cities right there. But look, you scroll down and there's a whole lot of shit down there. Yeah. Just saying.
But here you can see, I don't know if this is the ground.
Yeah. Yeah, that's ground level down there. It looks like maybe. But these buildings, again, seem to be interconnected. Those bridges and walkways and stuff kind of remind me of the Great Wall of China and how we were surmising that Great Wall of China is probably just what's left over from the top of an interconnected building that went on and on and on and on.
Yeah.
Really good stuff. Okay, that one right there. So this looks like you're at ground level, but are you at ground level? Because look at how many other levels there are. You know what I mean? I mean, that's interesting right there, that type of a layout there.
I've got a picture that goes even deeper from.
Nice. Yes, Zulu 1, the city's in fifth element. You're absolutely right. Yeah. And I've said that many times. I don't use that analogy enough, but I have said it a few times that this is what it seemed to be like, something like that. And we can't really wrap our heads around that type of a world where there's just everything is built out and buildings everywhere. Clearly, there had to have been a lot more people here. Wow. Yeah, we need to scroll in on that sucker.
Yeah. You can see like the trains are under. But this is true. This is what it was in the 1900s. Because now we build like our subway on top of these old rails, you know, in New York. Mm-hmm. The old railway is deeper than the subway that they use today.
Oh yeah, there's ones down there that they don't use anymore that are from that are just amazing and gorgeous, stained glass everywhere and all this cool stuff. And I'm like, why do we get crappy tile subways now when they had this elaborate stained glass, beautiful, you know, marble everywhere and stuff? Hello, ceiling fan man.
Hey,
Hey.
I just wanted to show she's okay.
Oh,
See?
good.
No,
What
but
happened?
for real, don't go too fast over that last one. You had my head spinning where you showed just the tops of the buildings.
Oh, yeah.
That's the city we live in. That's mind blowing because it also goes along with the Antiquitech tops that you're finding in all the cemeteries that we
Yes.
think are just cemeteries. But
Yes.
maybe there's stuff underneath those, and those are the antennas of the buildings, or maybe whatever was got so destroyed, the only thing left was that, and they stuck it in a graveyard of antennas, and we pretend it's of people, because like you
Yeah.
say, Jen says all the time, we're all the people that keep dying every year. They're not filling these cemeteries anymore. Then maybe they're graveyards of the Antiquitech. And then lastly, because I can't really stay, listen,
Okay.
but I sent your email something that just came to me from Twitter, and it shows like a 30 or 50-second thing someone put together on TikTok, I guess, of
Okay.
how they look like. You'll see it, and
All right.
so yeah, so I wanted to add that, but keep going, and that's amazing. That those
Okay.
drawings.
What happened to your cat?
Nothing.
Okay, good.
33 likes to make trouble. It's all right. She's my favorite troll.
I'm like sitting here silently saying prayers for Sarah. You know, like what happened? Did they step on her?
I've been so busy all day today, and now I just had some time. I sat down. She wanted to lay on me. I turned on Melted Buildings, and you're talking about my cat. I wasn't watching before that.
Wow.
That's too funny.
All right, I'll let you guys go. Keep going. Thanks.
All right. See you later.
All right, Shapu, what is the first couple of letters in your email so I can bring you up here? For some reason, I don't know the beginning of your email. And just give me the first couple of letters so I can type in.
What is my email? Wait a second.
Just the first letter. So what is it?
It's Frutkis.
Oh, it's F-R-U.
Yeah, FRU.
Oh, man, you're not coming up in my email for some reason. That's
It's just, I'll tell you, it's just Frutkis at Proton Mail.
Let's see.
FRUTKIS.
All right, look, I'm going to share it to you in Facebook Messenger. Since that's already up, I copied the link and sent it to you. It's this thing that Ceiling Fan just sent me. We're going to watch that in a minute. But yeah, this one here, if you scroll in to where that bridge is, going across the center there. Yeah, let's scroll into where the bridge is and just show the tops of the buildings. Keep moving down, moving down, moving down, moving down.
I can go
Can't go any further. Yeah, but just like I was saying, imagine just the tops of those buildings where that bridge is going across, and that's where our city level is. It seems.
Yeah.
In most places, it seems like.
Yeah. But this is the folder that I think we went through a couple show back.
Oh, let's look at this one here. Let's zoom in on this.
I think this one.
I used this picture in the documentary. I used this one as well. I like how they have two DJed columns here. Actually, 4 of them, but there's 2 big ones right there with eagles on it. That's tech on top of that. That's just not fancy schmancy stuff, guys. That's tech.
Yeah. Yeah. And this
And that massive thing there in the background, what is that?
This probably powers the old city.
Yeah, exactly. That is some major techage right there.
Yeah. You can see people going to their balconies but
Yeah,
this is, they say this is Troy, New York, 2016, but the last time I mentioned, but here it says 2006.
Oh yeah, I remember us talking about this. Yes.
Yeah.
And there's lions there. Interesting.
Yeah. But this one is not as good as the other one.
But it seems like they have old style dirigibles with all this modern stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. This because they don't know, but what they were probably big boats, just ships, real ships.
Yeah, I like those depictions where you see the dirigible and it's shaped like a ship.
Yeah.
I think they had that in The Mummy as well. something like it was like boat
not
shaped
this one.
like this.
This one's
Yeah.
like a steamship.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite pictures. I like that one, the depiction. I use that one too in the documentary. What is that?
That's just another one, but this is earlier. It's like 2014. The guy
This
made.
reminds me. This reminds me of Men in Black when they went to that battery
Oh, yeah.
park. Yeah,
Yeah, the thing in Seattle.
it looks like that too. A little, yeah.
Oh no, you remember? Okay, yeah, where the ship was.
Yes, it
Yeah,
looked like
the old-
and they were old World's Fair things
Oh,
too.
yeah,
Isn't
the
that
old World's
interesting?
Fair,
Yeah. The future is now.
The past.
Look at this.
Yeah.
Yeah, that looks like some Mayan temple.
Yeah.
But do you see if that melted down, it would be a mountain? You know what I mean? It's obvious that just imagine this thing melted down. How many mountain ranges look like, this type of, I can already envision it melted down in my head. You know what I mean?
Like this.
Yeah. I wish we could get a moving image of a building and put it into like melt mode or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they time lapse ice cream. We could do that with a building.
Yeah, we have to build a building out of ice cream, and but we could make something like that. Yeah. We build a model out of rocks and just put the heat bellow and.
So if they rebuilt a lot of this stuff, let's talk about Egypt. Because in Egypt, we see a lot of stuff that's been rebuilt, moved around, rebuilt again. We realize that a lot of these carvings aren't carvings. They're actually plaster with impressions in them. What do you think about Egypt and what's going on there? Because there is definitely signs for meltification for sure, but then they've definitely reconstructed a lot of stuff too.
Yes, they dug up a lot of stuff. I don't think. Do I have stuff from Egypt here? Because I've got a big folder of like this.
Good night, Holistic Media. Good night. Thank you for hanging out with us. I love you.
Good night. Thanks. It's 2 a.m. Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's late.
Yeah, like this. This was like in the late 1800s, early 19 maybe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they dug a lot of that out.
Yeah, because this is what it looks like now. But if you compare both, they didn't do much repair, but you can see that there's more structure in front. But today there's none, So they have removed some, like you said.
Right.
They had to remove some, and
this goes along with the same narrative of the tech on top of buildings being just ornamental spires and stuff like that. I think a lot of them that they left there, it's Baroque. It doesn't work anyway. And they just left the stuff there and said, well, they're just weather vanes or antennas for grounding and stuff like that. And then in other places, we've shown depictions. Shapu, you've shown a few depictions of them actually going up and taking down tech. Yeah. I've surmised many times that they've taken down a lot of the gold off of these domes. These domes were covered with gold, and then you have the spires and the tech that also incorporated gold and copper. And I think that they did a lot of removal of precious materials that they've just, put away for their riches and stuff and melted down and used for other stuff.
Yeah. I think I've got another one from...
That's interesting, that one there you have up. They took the whole bridge out and stuff.
Yeah, what a nice bridge to go there. Now you can't. There's not.
It's like, well, we can't hide all this stuff over here. We'll just take the bridge away so they can't go over and look at it.
Yeah, because like this one, the coastline of Paris was just crazy before they tore it down.
Yeah, why would they tear all that down?
Like see that?
And they like to tell us that, well, these were disposable buildings. This was before a World's Fair or something. Guys, what we live in today is disposable buildings. You know, you get a bad wind come through your area, it can rip your roof off and stuff or whatever. I mean, these buildings, a lot of them still stand the test of time. The ones that they didn't get rid of or dismantle or bomb.
Yeah. Well, I thought I had some more from Egypt.
There will be nothing left of our current civilization after the next X Factor event. I can't really see much surviving. A lot of this stuff will still be around, but they won't even know we were here.
No, it will be easier to build over.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because all this stuff took a lot of manpower to destroy and move around.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was surprised when I found out about Egypt and that, you know, I took a second look at it after having new eyes and stuff. How does Jenna's shampoo find all these amazing pics? Well, I got to tell you, Shampoo is the expert on finding these amazing pics. He's got folder after folder of just awesomeness going on. But Egypt, you know, when you start to look at the plastering that's falling off the walls and stuff, you start to, you know, the indoctrination is falling away, and you start to really realize that they've refurbished a lot of this stuff and put in the narrative of the Egyptians and the culture and how far back it extends and everything like that. Changing his story. There's a whole another underlying thing that's going on with Egypt and what it was prior to the X Factor event. It may not even have been called Egypt. I think everything was renamed after the X Factor event. This is why we see things like Montana and Utah over by where Sodom and Gomorrah is on the maps.
So you can see like everything was destroyed when they found it. You know, there were blocks everywhere and everything destroyed. They had to move a lot of stuff. You can see on this one that the same temple that I just showed buried. But look all around. It's all city.
Wow.
But today there's none. There's only this temple.
Wow.
So they removed all of this temple and this one still there. But all of this stuff, it's not there anymore.
Really good stuff.
So
let's get into Stonehenge. A lot of people buy the historical narrative on Stonehenge. It's still taught today in the historical narrative that it's an ancient site, a druidic site that ceremonies were done in and stuff. But when you look at Stonehenge, you can see in almost all the pictures, these seem to be some kind of cement coverings over what seems to be some type of rebar or reinforced kind of metal beams that have been covered with this type of cement type structure. And also we have to go to that Twitter video that I sent you from in your messages as well. Yes. But we can look at this first.
So this is the post that I was telling you just before. You can see that this is false information that they say.
Yeah. So they're telling us here that this is false information. Believe the mainstream narrative, but this is false information.
Okay, so I'll just pull it. I can't. Oh yeah, I can't play this song. Just.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah.
Where can I just enlarge? Yeah. Stop. How do I remove this?
Famous stones have stood here for over 3. So they put this plaque up saying how long it's been standing in the historical narrative, but actually you see them here building the site.
Yeah, exactly. You know, if you want to see the why, why the fact checkers say that it's not true, but I don't know. The video says otherwise.
Exactly. Now, they're not building an alternative site to see how these people may have made this. They're building the site. The site. And what's the date on this, Shapu? Do you know? Was this the 40s or the 50s?
Yeah, I think maybe 30s, 40s.
Right. So this isn't taught to people. Nobody talks about this, but people still buy the historical narrative that these stones stood there in their current position for however long they say, centuries.
Yeah. Well, they just changed the layout and put it how they wanted. Just another refurbished or changed, or we don't know anymore, because the only story we got this is how it was.
Yep. Fake as fuck.
Yeah.
Yes. Loads of lies. Yes. Yep. It's fake. And you can see in many of the pictures of Stonehenge, you can see those things underneath. At least in one of them, definitely, they left a part exposed, like as if it's right in your face, and they just don't care if you even see it or figure it out. But it's there. It's there to be seen.
Yeah, the stone is not even a real stone. It's
It's all hollow on the inside.
yeah.
So they get these metal girders, these beams of metal, and then they form this casing around it of cement type-ish stone, right? It looks rudimentary and stuff, like it's a real megalithic structure, and then they move them into place, call it Stonehenge, and teach that narrative to people that ancient people lived here. They were very rudimentary. This is the megalithic era, you know, kind of like the Dark Ages, like Stone Age time. Didn't exist, guys. Cavemen didn't exist.
No, nothing prior to don't know, 15, maybe 1600 is
well, Natalie, I agree with you here. Where are all the people that were here that saw this? But if you look at it, it's not really a huge group of people that are here. And probably all those people that were there are dead now. And besides, they don't control who writes the narrative and where it gets taught in schools. So the book that winds up on your children's desk in school is the one that gets taught to people. You see what I'm saying? It got taught to us as well. And besides that, they have things like the History Channel and Ancient Aliens and all this other stuff that drive home their narratives even more long after you're out of school, that this is the historical narrative. Again, just like when you put on a movie and that globe sitting there spinning with Universal on it in the beginning of these movies and stuff, it's to, again, drive home the space narrative and anchor that as the truth in your mind. Yeah. At least that's how I see it.
This is what they say when they reply to the fact check. It wasn't built in the 50s. No, it was built 4,500 or 5,000 years ago, Jen.
Right.
Yet
there's a video showing it being built. There's no video or pictures of it before, right? Okay, so here, this is exactly what we're talking about, Shapu. Let's go to that picture and see if we can make it big. See if you can click on it.
No, I can't.
Okay, no, you can't zoom at all?
No.
Okay. So what I see here, there you go, is it looks like some type of cement / plaster of Paris kind of stuff that was covering these large, what seems to be metal beams. What do you think, Shapu? What's it look like to you?
I don't know. The one that I saw previously wasn't this one, but it was just a corner. You could see that the corner was broken off, and you could see like the wiring inside. But this one, I don't even know what it is.
Yeah.
But you can see that it's probably made. I don't know.
Yeah, that one for me is a definite, like, the linchpin that convinced me that it was fake.
Yeah.
Even when they show pictures of Obama at this place and stuff, this picture comes up. I mean, they want you to see it. They probably sit back and laugh every time you still buy the narrative that it's some ancient site and all this stuff. The
Probably
gauge is for them how indoctrinated you are. Now, I can skip a generation or two and teach them a new narrative, and they'll think this place is something else. You know what I mean? They can do this over and over and over again. Throw a reset into this and then skip a generation or maybe 3. You can rewrite everything. You can literally, in one generation, you can rewrite everything. If you exclude one generation out and start over with that following generation, you can rewrite his story every time.
Exactly.
Okay, so the Colosseum. My mother was asking about the Colosseum earlier. She asked me what it was, and I was explaining to her that it's a component on the grid system. I don't think it was used for gladiators and gladiatorial expeditions and stuff like that. I think it had a functionality to the grid system itself in that location. You said, Chapu, that it even held water.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, water plays a key part in this grid system as well. They had cooling ponds, it seems, and stuff like that.
Like
here you go, right here, yeah.
Yeah. But Rome was dig up in the 30s, 40s again, you know? So
what was Rome doing prior to the 30s and 40s? You know what I mean? It's like, what was going on? They tried us believing that Rome was, ruled the world, the Vatican and all this stuff, and these kings and queens and everything. But they're just, in the early 1900s, they're excavating Rome.
Yeah, exactly. So what happened? They never tell what happened.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what we are trying to find out here. Why they just lied to us and lied to...
Yeah, hippie, they probably did that so you can't go and check it out for yourself and investigate it. Too many people are catching on. They got to stop that. They'll close it off. They'll put gates up. They'll make sure you don't go there.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, exactly.
The winners write his story. That's right. So does the inheritors of the X Factor event, apparently, especially if they piggyback the X Factor event and make sure they come out on top.
Yeah. And this is the only...
And then get rid of all the other people along the way that they don't want.
Yeah.
Those undesirables.
Amphitheaters, it says in the name, because amphi means like boat or two. So there were two function for these amphitheaters, So if they're not, there are theaters, but what is the other function? And amphi always means something with water, like a frog is an, I don't know, it's the same thing in
amphibian,
English.
amphibian. Yes, I get it.
It goes in water and in land. So
yeah. Well, I don't know. It could be you pull in here with your boats, you charge them up, or I don't know. I don't know.
It's
interesting though.
But it could be used, like I said, for water gathering and water purification at some point, like in India. The step wells.
Yes.
But they're just squares. These one are round. So.
Or, it looks like a speaker. Or if you had the water in there on the speaker, you see the cymatic frequency that's being pumped through it. Maybe it created cymatic patterns in there or something.
Yeah, exactly. But I wanted to show you like pictures of Rome being dug up, but I don't remember where I put it.
Well, you look for that if you want. I'm going to do a quick break and play a song about 3 minutes long, and then we'll come back to that. Let me get a song up here. All right. Guys, we'll be right back.
I don't have time to look at the chat, but
all right, guys, we'll be right back.
Everyone.
The sharing of biased and false news has become all too common on social media. More alarming, some media outlets publish these same fake stories without checking facts first.
The sharing of biased and false news has become all too common on social media. More alarming, some media outlets publish these same fake stories without checking facts first. Unfortunately,
a few, we're in this mess. Forever you will acquiesce. Oh, you love to be deceived. Whatever they tell you, you believe. Dead of sight, dead of mind, news believer, you are blind. Critical thinker, you are not. Never independent thought. Busting through your paradigm. Hypnotized with pantomime. Regurgitating all you hear. Spread your terror, spread your fear. Never your mind to be free. Never your eyes will ever see. Lick the boot of tyranny, begging for your slavery. They who have remote control, the keys know your very soul. Salute to the great deceiver, television watching news believer. Inject your poison where your mask. All they have to do is ask. Never questioning authority. Blindly following like sheep. Yes sir, no sir, three backs full. You television watching fool. Never your mind to be free. Never your eyes will ever see. Lick the boot of tyranny, begging for your slavery. They who have remote control, the keys know your very soul. Salute to the great deceiver, television watching news believer.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy. Extremely dangerous to our democracy. This is extremely dangerous to our democracy. This is extremely dangerous to our democracy. This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
All right, guys. I just got a phone call from my husband. I got to go pick him up. It kind of sucks, but it's okay. We're gonna. I know Ceiling Fan sent me something and everything. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go live tomorrow, and we'll finish out this topic. We want to look at what you were going to bring up, the folder you were looking for, Shapu.
Yeah, I've got it, and I've got even some videos from it.
Okay, well, if you want me to screen share and let you run with this for a little bit, all I need is about 20 minutes, and I'll be back. You want to do that? And then I could stay on, and then when I come back, we'll go over Ceiling Fan Man's video.
Yeah, I could.
You comfortable with that?
Yeah, I'll try.
And you know, if you run out of stuff, you can just play the guitar. They love it.
Yeah, like the last one. Yeah, I could because I can't. If you give me the share, I cannot just come out. I won't be able to share back.
So you want to wait till tomorrow, or what do you want to do?
Yeah, maybe I'll wait for tomorrow. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's no problem. No problem at all. We got 52 people here, guys. I promise we'll get a show in tomorrow, maybe a little bit earlier, 6 p.m. instead of 7 p.m. And I haven't even looked at the video that Ceiling Fan sent yet, so I'll check that out later. But we're going to show it on air and get that done. But yes, thank you for helping me out with this tonight, Shapu. I appreciate it. I didn't expect to be getting cut off. I thought we had at least another half an hour to go. I apologize.
All right, you made me in a good mood because I was just before all day I was like, I don't know, didn't give a shit about anything.
In a funk.
Yeah, but now it's good.
Oh, well, thank you. I think it's a lot better today, too. I always feel really good after I do a live stream. As a matter of fact, it takes me a while to unwind after one because I'm so hyped up and excited and just really enjoy the interaction with everybody and all that. And I get off of here and I'm kind of like, it takes me a good hour and a half to just kind of come down off that. I love you guys so much. And I really appreciate everybody that's stayed and hung out so far. 50 people here still. Make sure you guys tune in tomorrow. Make sure I set the link up either tonight or tomorrow. So immediately, you guys will know what time and everything we're going to go on tomorrow. It'll be a part 2 to this episode that we're doing tonight. All right, guys, make sure you sub and bell Shapu. His links are in the description below, also with some information about donations to the channel. Go ahead, Shapu. I'm sorry.
No, just saying thank you to everyone. And in 10 days, I will have my channel back if they don't strike me again.
It's not if, it's when. Yeah. But anyway, guys, let it not be said. Now, let me start off my quote a different way. The only thing that evil needs to prevail is for good men and women to stand by and do nothing. Let it not be said that we stood by and did nothing. I love you guys, and we're out of here.